Are you tired of feeling like a pawn in someone else's game? Sick of watching women walk all over you, your boundaries evaporate, and your respect dwindle to nothing? You thought being nice was the answer, didn't you? Let me tell you, that's the fastest way to become invisible, irrelevant, and utterly manipulated. This isn't about being a better man in the fluffy sense. This is about taking back control. It's about understanding the raw, brutal dynamics of relationships, the invisible threads of power that most men are too blind or too afraid to acknowledge. Today we expose the greatest enemy within you, the servant that bows down, seeks approval, and sabotages your every move. We're about to unleash the sovereign within, a force that bends reality to its will. If you've ever felt disrespected, used, or simply failed to get what you want from women, pay close attention, because by the end of this, you'll possess a masculine strategy so potent, so fundamentally true, it will make you dangerously confident, untouchable by the petty emotional games of others. This isn't self-help. This is psychological warfare, a masterclass in the mental game. This is your blueprint for absolute power. This is your blueprint for absolute power. And the first, most brutal truth you must internalize is this: the world does not bend to your good intentions, your merit, or your truth. It bends to your conviction. Certainty is the ultimate currency of power. Think about it. When you walk into a room, are you projecting an unwavering inner state, or are you radiating doubt, seeking approval, looking for permission? The former commands attention. The latter invites exploitation. Women especially are exquisitely tuned to this frequency. They don't respect your logic. They respect your resolve. They don't value your niceness. They value your absolute conviction. This isn't about being right. It's about being unshakable. Consider the teachings of Machiavelli, not as a guide for tyranny, but as a stark mirror reflecting human nature. In its rawest form, Machiavelli understood that perception, unwavering will, and the projection of strength are far more potent than any inherent goodness or truth. The prince who appears decisive, even if his decisions are flawed, commands more loyalty and fear, and thus more power than the benevolent, wavering ruler. Apply this principle to your personal sphere. Are you the decisive prince of your own life, or are you a vassal, constantly seeking validation? Your lack of certainty is an open invitation for manipulation. When you are uncertain, you are a blank canvas for others' desires, a puppet waiting for strings. This unshakable certainty is the foundation of true emotional control. It means you are not swayed by emotional outbursts, guilt trips, or seductive ploys. Your internal compass is fixed, and external pressures simply bounce off. This isn't about being emotionally cold. It's about being emotionally sovereign. When you possess this inner conviction, you radiate an aura of power that demands respect. You become, by definition, a high-value man. Your actions, your words, your very presence are imbued with a force that makes others want to align with you, to follow your lead, to respect your boundaries. It's the ultimate masculine strategy, not based on aggression, but on an internal locus of control so strong it dictates the external reality. The mental game of relationships, especially with women, is often a test of this very conviction. Are you easily rattled? Do you second-guess yourself the moment she applies pressure or expresses disapproval? If so, you are signaling weakness, vulnerability, and an open door for her to take the lead, to set the terms, to manipulate the dynamic to her advantage. Your uncertainty is her leverage. Your doubt is her weapon. True power lies in the unwavering belief in your own framework, your own decisions, your own worth. It's the quiet, potent knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you intend to do, regardless of external validation. This isn't arrogance, it's self-possession. It's the ultimate form of self-respect. You are not begging for approval. You are commanding a response based on your intrinsic value, projected through the lens of absolute certainty. But how do you forge this unshakable conviction when a lifetime of conditioning has taught you to seek external validation? The inner servant is not some abstract concept. It's the meticulously crafted ghost of your past. The culmination of every "don't rock the boat," every "be a good boy," every fear of rejection imprinted since childhood. It's the voice of external validation, whispering that your worth is conditional, tethered to the approval of others. This entity operates as an internal saboteur, constantly nudging you towards appeasement, towards compromising your boundaries, towards becoming agreeable even when it violates your core integrity. It's the reason you hesitate to speak your mind, the root of your need to please, the subtle force that makes you second-guess your own truth. This is not just a psychological quirk. It's an internal vulnerability, a gaping wound in your armor that invites exploitation. In the mental game of relationships, especially with women, this servant is your greatest liability. When she pushes, when she tests, when she withdraws validation, the servant panics. It whispers, "Fix it, apologize, prove your worth," and in that panicked reaction you surrender power. You inadvertently teach her that her disapproval has a direct emotional leverage over you, opening the door for subtle, or even overt, manipulation. This isn't a masculine strategy. It's a recipe for becoming reactive, needy, and ultimately disrespected. You cannot be a high-value man if your internal compass is constantly spinning. dictated by the perceived emotional state or approval of another. True emotional control begins by recognizing this internal enemy, this conditioned self, and understanding that its pursuit of external harmony is, in fact, creating internal chaos and external weakness. To dismantle this servant, you must first identify its voice. It's the voice of doubt when you want to set a boundary. It's the nagging urge to over-explain or over-apologize. It's the sudden fear of loss that makes you abandon your frame. This is a form of psychological warfare waged within your own skull, and you must adopt a Machiavellian ruthlessness towards this internal enemy. The first step towards reclaiming your power is to starve this servant of its primary fuel, your compliance. Every time you choose self-respect over external validation, every time you hold your frame despite internal discomfort, you are effectively cutting off its supply lines. This is not about becoming a detached automaton. It's about achieving self-possession, an unshakable inner core that makes you impervious to external manipulation. This conscious act of defiance against your internal conditioning is the foundation of genuine respect. When you cease seeking approval and instead to operate from an intrinsic sense of worth, your actions radiate a quiet authority. This shift is palpable to others. They sense the absence of neediness, the presence of an unwavering self. This is how you transition from being isolated manipulated to becoming a source of power that naturally commands deference. It's a fundamental aspect of the masculine strategy, building an impregnable inner fortress. But this fortress isn't built overnight, and recognizing the servant is only the first skirmish. The real battle lies in consistently overriding its directives, in actively choosing sovereignty over comfort. So, once you've identified this internal infiltrator, how do you systematically disarm it and ensure it never again dictates your actions or undermines your pursuit of becoming that high-value man? So, once you've identified this internal infiltrator, how do you systematically disarm it and ensure it never again dictates your actions or undermines your pursuit of becoming that high-value man? The first master key is this: move, as if you own the room. This is not about puffed-up arrogance or external posturing for show. It's an internal declaration of sovereignty that permeates your very being. Your body language is a silent, yet thunderous, testament to your self-possession and the genuine emotional control you wield over your own state. The servant within you constantly urges you to shrink, to apologize for your very existence, to seek permission to occupy space. It wants you to blend, to be invisible, fearing any friction or disapproval. But the sovereign commands presence, demanding that you expand, not contract. This means entering an environment as if you are its rightful orchestrator, not a mere spectator. Your stride is purposeful, your gaze direct and unwavering, your shoulders back, your breath deep and calm. This isn't a performance for others. It's a profound act of psychological warfare against your own internal conditioning and the deeply ingrained human tendency to seek external validation. When you walk into a meeting, a social gathering, or even just your own living room, you mentally reframe the narrative. I am here, and my presence is a given, not a request. This is a Machiavellian understanding of power that its perception often dictates its reality. You project authority, and in doing so, you begin to truly embody it. It is the antithesis of manipulation. It is the embodiment of true, unshakable power. This shift is a fundamental masculine strategy, establishing an unshakable inner frame, an inherent worth that doesn't need external acknowledgement or permission. The mental game here is crucial. You are not asking for respect. You are projecting it from within. This isn't about dominating others, but about dominating your own internal landscape, specifically the part that constantly seeks approval and fears rejection. Every deliberate, confident movement is a strategic blow against the servant's programming. You are teaching your own subconscious that you are the architect of your reality, not a passive passenger in it. This is the bedrock upon which genuine power is built. The visual cue that you are operating from a place of intrinsic authority, the very definition of a high-value man. It signifies a profound victory in the emotional chess match of life, where you refuse to be a pawn. Once you've mastered the silent language of ownership, the next step is to align your voice with that unwavering presence. This brings us to the second master key. Speak as if you cannot be denied. This isn't about speaking loudly or aggressively. It's about the unyielding conviction behind your words. It's about the emotional control you have over your delivery, ensuring your message carries the full weight of your internal frame. The servant wants you to hedge, to equivocate, to offer disclaimers that soften your stance and invite potential rebuttal. It whispers doubts, urging you to seek consensus rather than state your truth. But the sovereign speaks with clarity and precision, its declarations unburdened by the need for external validation. When you speak, your words become extensions of your will, not timid requests. There is no apology in your tone, no implicit question seeking permission or approval. This directness is a powerful form of communication, a potent countermeasure against subtle forms of manipulation that thrive on ambiguity and hesitation. You command respect not by demanding it but by embodying it in every syllable. Your arguments are presented with the quiet confidence of irrefutable fact, your intentions stated with unambiguous resolve. This reflects a deep psychological certainty that your perspective holds value and deserves to be heard without challenge. It's a crucial aspect of the masculine strategy to articulate your vision, your boundaries, and your non-negotiables with an authority that leaves no room for doubt. This demonstrates your intrinsic power, your commitment to your own frame, and your capacity to lead and influence. This profound coherence between your physical presence and your vocal expression is what truly establishes you as a force to be reckoned with. A high-value man who plays the mental game not as a victim but as a master strategist. And what happens when, despite your unshakable presence and undeniable words, the world pushes back? How do you then convert that rejection into an instrument of your own ascendancy, further cementing your control? When the world pushes back, when the currents of external pressure threaten to engulf you, your first line of defense, your most potent countermeasure, is not a reactive strike, but a strategic non-reaction. Indifference is not apathy, it is the ultimate expression of emotional control. To react, to flinch, to show irritation or vulnerability, is to betray your hand, to grant your adversary power over your inner state. It's a fundamental tenet of psychological warfare. He who controls his emotions controls the battlefield. The high-value man understands that every external provocation is a test, an invitation to relinquish command of his own frame. By remaining impassive, you absorb the blow without reverberation, leaving the aggressor striking at empty air. This stoic resolve is a formidable weapon in the mental game, demonstrating an unshakable inner core that commands immediate respect. To further this invulnerability, become formless as water. Just as water adapts to any vessel, you must be capable of adapting to any circumstance, any opponent, without losing your essence. If you are rigid, you can be broken. If you are fluid, you can never truly be trapped. Your strategies become unpredictable, your movements uncontainable. This fluidity prevents your opponents from ever getting a solid grip on you, making their attacks futile. You are everywhere and nowhere, a master of evasion and adaptation. This amorphous quality naturally leads to the next power principle: make others come to you. A true center of gravity, a force of masculine strategy, does not chase, it attracts. By cultivating genuine value, by becoming the source of something others desire, be it resources, solutions, or simply undeniable presence, you create a gravitational pull. Others will expend their energy to reach you, to align with you, rather than you expending yours in pursuit. This subtle form of manipulation ensures that they invest in your frame, reinforcing your power dynamic. It's a testament to your intrinsic worth, a silent declaration that your time and attention are precious commodities. Beyond attraction, the master strategist understands the anatomy of influence. As Machiavelli so astutely observed, if you wish to scatter the sheep, you attack the shepherd. Do not waste energy on peripheral skirmishes. Identify the leader, the linchpin, the source of cohesion for your opposition, and direct your strategic efforts there. By neutralizing or undermining the central figure, the entire structure crumbles, and the collective loses its direction, its resolve. This is a higher-order form of the mental game, targeting the very command and control of your adversaries. And while these maneuvers unfold, the truly effective operator works in darkness. For true intentions, the full scope of your strategy, remain concealed. The less others know about your methods, your resources, your ultimate objectives, the more effectively you can keep them in a state of uncertainty. This perpetual ambiguity creates a psychological fog for your opponents, preventing them from formulating a coherent counterplan. They are forced to guess, to react to shadows, while you operate with clear purpose from behind the veil. This deliberate withholding of information, this strategic opacity, is a powerful form of manipulation, ensuring you always maintain the element of surprise. When the time comes to influence, understand that human beings are fundamentally driven by self-interest. To persuade, to lead, to achieve your objectives without resorting to overt force, appeal to their gain. Show them how your vision, your demands, your desired outcome will ultimately serve their own agenda, their own aspirations. This is not about being altruistic. It is about shrewdly leveraging the universal human impulse. It's an elegant form of power, guiding others towards your will by aligning it with their deepest desires. Complementing this, master the art of absence to increase respect. Your constant presence can breed familiarity, even contempt. Strategic withdrawal, periods of unavailability, can heighten your perceived value, making your return more impactful. The space you create allows others to appreciate your contributions, to yearn for your presence, and to reflect on your influence. It reestablishes you as a high-value man whose time and attention are privileges, not entitlements. Furthermore, be prepared to disarm your enemies with unexpected gestures. When they expect hostility, offer a moment of surprising grace. When they anticipate a fight, offer a solution. This shatters their preconceived notions and throws them into disarray, making them vulnerable to your true intent. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, never reveal all your cards. This is the cornerstone of sustained dominance in any form of psychological warfare. Always have an unplayed hand, a hidden gambit, a surprise maneuver. This constant state of strategic advantage ensures that you always have an edge, always possess a secret weapon your opponents are unaware of. It's the ultimate form of emotional control over the entire chessboard, allowing you to maintain an air of mystery and a reserve of power. The moment your adversaries believe they know your full capabilities, they begin to devise your downfall. By always holding something back, you maintain an unpredictable edge, a potent threat that keeps them guessing. This mastery of the unseen, this capacity to operate with a concealed arsenal of tactics, transforms the simple interaction into a sophisticated ballet of influence. But how does one then ensure that this subtle power is not merely fleeting, but etched into the very fabric of others' perceptions? So, the question remains, are you truly in control, or are you still a pawn in someone else's mental game? This isn't just theory. It's a masculine strategy to reclaim your power and earn unshakable respect. Have you ever been subject to manipulation and only realized it much later? Tell me below. Your insights fuel this community. To master true emotional control and unleash the full force of your inner Machiavelli, subscribe now and activate the bell. It's the only way you'll uncover the strategies most men never discover. For more on becoming the ultimate high-value man, watch this video next. Stay sharp.